guys, welcome to another episode of Real Hazardous. Today we're going to continue our work on our Blazer Bay boat. And this video we're going to be focusing on two electronic components that we want to add to our 21/7 Blazer Bay. Those two components are, one, a second bilge pump, always good to have, and two, a GPS/depth recorder unit. Alright guys, so we are trying to put the bilge pump in, second bilge pump, because I feel like any boat should have a backup bilge pump. This has an automatic float switch, 1100, seems pretty powerful. It's kind of a pain and stuff because boat manufacturers never seem to want to build a big enough access panel to a bilge area. As you can see, this one's pretty small. It's hard to get in, it's a pain to work in. It's just poor design, but it seems like they all want to do that. I've never found a boat manufacturer that makes a big enough bilge access. I've seen a few people who have custom designed theirs to be big enough, and they know what they're doing. Pretty much whatever size your bilge access should be, you should have a door that totally opens up. Like if underneath the bilge, if it's 2 feet by 2 feet, your access should be a 2 feet by 2 feet panel that you can flip some switches and pop off. The first thing we did was detach the bottom plate from the bilge pump and tried it in different positions on the bottom of the hull to see where it fit best before actually attaching it down. So because it's difficult to work with, what we're doing is we're putting 5200 on the bottom of the plate because that plate pops off the bilge pump easy enough. We put the plate down and it's going to kind of adhere, and then we're going to come back and tap it with the drill and then put the screws in. So we're not just doing 5200. We are going to screw that bad boy down, but this hopefully will keep it from wiggling, you know, when you're trying to screw it, and then it becomes an even problem and you don't have much space.
The thing is, if we need to take it out, you can pry it off because it's nothing get hard as a rock like the other stuff does. Right.
Oh yeah, guys, and if it's up to me, those seats are gone.
The what?
Those seats are gone.
You ready? So I go right to the back of this.
Putting the bilge pump in can be difficult simply because there isn't a lot of space in the bilge area. It's one of my frustrations. Most boats never build a big enough access panel to work in the bilge with the pumps and wires and things like that.
Get it off. And then I can loop that hose when it gets in there and come back because it's kind of hollow there. If I have to make it like a little loop and come back this way, I can do that.
Next, we install the electronics. The first and hardest part is prepping for the transducer cable that is run from the transom under the hull to the center console. Our boat previously didn't have any GPS unit at all. There's a small opening in the back for this cable to run through. But the first thing we need to do is to pull a line that we can tie the transducer cable to. And this will be the hardest part.
So running this cable, you think it'd be better run it from this way that, or that way up to the front? I would think it'd be more of a drop this way. And when it got back here, you could see it. You need to run it.
So it comes out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's another thing. And maybe Blazer Bay did this and the previous owner took it out or lost or whatever. You should always put, rope in with how your wires run. And on both ends, you should have a lot of rope coiled up to where you can undo it and tie your wire to it and pull it all the way through. And then still have enough to, after you do that, untie it and pull that rope back out so that you can always easily shuffle stuff through. So what we're going to do when we run this, we're actually going to put our own rope in, so the next time around we'll have easy access and this will be a piece of cake. We tried a couple ways of doing this. One is to run a thick piece of mono through, but it's kind of hard. Won't push through very well. The next thing we did was we tried to feed a thick piece of metal cable, but that wasn't stiff enough either.
Let's see if you can feed it that way some.
Let me take a look at what we got. Alright guys, we're going to try a heavier wire, and we're putting some grease on it now. Put some tape over the tip, because the tip was a little jagged, and you don't want this cutting or scratching any of the wires in there. So you definitely want to make sure you take care of all that stuff when you try to run this through. Finally, we used a flexible but thick piece of wire. We put a little tape on the tip of it and some grease to make sure there weren't any sharp things that would scratch any of the wires, and that it wouldn't stick and it would slide right through. It did take a couple tries from different angles, working it, pushing it back and forth, but we finally got it through. I don't really have any suggestions of an easier way to do it. You just gotta keep trying, keep pushing until it finally goes through.
More Vaseline, I think you're good. I could feed it a long ways when I was doing the other one through there. I mean, you could feel it was a lot easier to go. You want try to go into the front?
Okay, we finally got the wire pushed through, front, back, tried front again. Pretty big pain, but we got it through. Gonna run the mono through, give it plenty of extra, and then we won't ever have this problem again, hopefully. So pretty soon we'll have our wire run, we'll be able to install our electronics, we'll have our double bilge pumps, and we're slowly making progress.
You find the end of it. You see it.
Once we did get it through, we attached 300-pound mono to that stiff wire. Okay, so we've wrapped the mono around the wire, taped it with electrical tape, and put some Vaseline on it, make it slick. And we're gonna gently feed it back through so that we have, plenty of mono and stuff.
You have to kind of keep wiggling it a little bit. If it gets stuck on the wiring, we can kind of wiggle a little bit and shake the wiring and get it to go past it. You know what I mean?
Now you might have to explain that again. Okay, so the plan is we've got our mono running through the boat. We're going to tie our transducer cable. We're going to tape it up, put some Vaseline on it, make it kind of slick, and run that through the boat using the mono we ran through. And then we'll hook up GPS unit and we'll mount the transducer, and should all work pretty good.
You got it. Sometimes I think it's best to do that tape like a couple different spots and break it off and then do it again.
We're going to use electrical tape to attach the transducer to the mono. We're going to wrap the mono around the transducer a little bit and then tape it and put a little Vaseline or grease so it's a little slick. And pulling it through after this was easy.
I like when the strangers are doing this. Is a tight spot for me right there. Big old fat butt. I don't think it's made for big butts. Let's go using your head.
So now that the cable is through, we can mount the bracket to the top of the console. There is a template for this, for lining up, where to drill, but we find it's easier just to drill the first hole, tighten the bracket down, get it where you like it, and then drill the remaining holes right with the bracket in place.
Should just slide off. Alright, you got like that. Come down here, because I'll put them up there. We might not ever find them again. We'll drill the first hole and then we'll tighten it down and then. Alright. So is this what you like right here?
Yeah.
It's not in the way of your window there. Just take the thing off.
Take what thing off?
The knob. I mean, you got plenty of room for the knob.
Yeah, it looks like I can.
That's good.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do the first hole. I like to put them in the middle. So we'll put a little 5200 on here. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
And we could use the drill to set that. I just don't like to do it.
We put 5200 on our screws because this helps seals them and keeps them in place, keeps them from backing out.
All right. About middle ways. Okay. You like it right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll do the next one. You might just dip that on there. It'll automatically distribute it when you go down in there.
Next, we have to mount the transducer. For this, we use the template that came with the unit. Be sure to read the directions carefully because they'll make some suggestions as to where your transducer can go. For example, you don't want your transducer too close to the propeller. And you have to look and see where the lifting strakes are and the chines on your boat are so that it doesn't create too much turbulence that interferes with your transducer. We put a piece of electrical tape on the drill to limit how far the drill goes into the hole. And again, we put 5200 on all of our screws.
Okay, so I just, of course, we'll never see the bolt hole, will we? Yeah. Let's get it started. Okay. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Like I said, we want to get it medium. Well, I guess it really don't matter. We may end up adjusting it some anyhow. Huh?
Yeah.
I can't. Can you see it?
Below. Yeah.
And then it.
Yeah, it should be. Once we get it in place, we use something flat like a 2x4 to level the transducer. You definitely want to have it level. If it's pointing up or down, it's going to either show what's in front of your boat or what's behind your boat at that angle, and we want to see exactly what's straight up and down. But once we've got the transducer itself tightened down to the back of the boat, we can just secure the wires to the transom so it's nice and clean, and we are good to go. We took the boat out for a little test shrimping fishing trip, and we tried our electronics, and they worked really well. Everything looked good. We could mark the bottom accurately, no turbulence, no issues at all, so our installation job was a success. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you guys got any other tips, any suggestions for how we can trick this boat out, or what you've done for your boat, please let us know. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time on Real Hazardous.